Hi everyone, today's video is how to make the most out of your costume jewellery and how to look after it and get the most out of your buck basically. My knowledge comes from being a store manager for a few years at a costume jewellery store. This is where I've gained most of my knowledge, so I just want to share it with you. So obviously you can buy gold or silver jewellery or beads and things like that, or buy like brown or aged sort of looking jewellery that it's supposed to look that way, and that's actually really has been in fashion for a long time and is really popular as well. Something like this, which is a beaded necklace, is not going to tarnish, it's not going to discolour, it's pretty much going to stay okay unless you snap the beads. But this has been made on like a fishing line wire, so it's not really going to snap unless it snaps off the cusps here. But another example is these can so easily be replaced, and just get a pair of jewellery wires, because most costume jewellery is made out of copper. It's quite bendable, pliable metal, so it's really easy to fix and just take the broken piece off and add a new one, which you can buy for just a couple of dollars. Most jewellery stores will sell them. Something like this, for example, these two long necklaces, they're beads obviously, and they're just on a soft velvety type of rope material. So these are really great because obviously they're not going to tarnish, only the chain here, which no one's going to look at anyway. The focus is going to be on the beads, and these would have to be pretty hard done by to get damaged and break. Same sort of thing with bracelets as well. Beads are always a no-brainer. They're always going to last you a longer time. Only thing is, they don't often come in a big range of sizes. It's basically just stretchy, one size fits all, and they do snap. But other than that, your beads aren't going to get damaged. So a really great tip for silver jewellery is don't get it wet. Same with gold as well. It's not as obvious with gold, but with silver for sure, definitely, sweat and water is going to ruin it. So if you can avoid it, avoid the sweat or being in a hot climate or whatever the case may be, and avoid water. So if you're wearing a ring, when you go to wash your hands, take your ring off, wash your hands, dry your hands, and then put your jewellery back on. That will definitely help make it last longer. Another thing I like to do is keep everything in a snap lock bag, just something simple like this. You can get them in all different sizes for next to nothing. I would recommend keeping each jewellery piece in a separate bag. It's not as fun to display, but believe me, keeping the dust off it and everything else is going to help your jewellery last a long time. To show you an example of tarnished silver jewellery, this is what not looking after your silver costume jewellery is going to do. So as you can see here, these are quite tarnished, not so shiny and nice anymore, and quite rusty looking. What you can do as well, if you really love a piece of jewellery and they've gotten ruined like this, you can get from most jewellery stores, either high-end or cheap. Most of them will sell what is called a polishing cloth. They will shine this up quick and easy. All you have to do is give them a good rub over, and pretty much if they're not too far gone, most of the time they will polish up nice and shiny and brand new again, and it only costs a couple of bucks. An example of jewellery that's been kept in a bag like this, these were bought, gosh, so long ago, at least 5 years, and I'm not kidding. I bought the majority of my jewellery when I was working, when I was managing the jewellery store, and I haven't done that for, God, it's been about 5 years, so it's been a long time. But this is what an example of the jewellery that I've been looking after and keeping it in a bag. So these have kept really nice and shiny, and they look like new. So if you compare these to these, as you can see, it's quite a big difference. So moving on to rings, the same rule applies. As you can see, the tarnished one here that used to be silver, and this is a silver ring that has been well kept and looked after. So you can see the big difference and how long they've lasted. So when it comes to bangles, this is a great style to have. This is sort of like a mirror impression, but something like this is not going to get ruined very easily. Same applies with this flower one and this love bracelet. They're not going to discolour or get ruined either, so they're going to last you ages as well. If that's your style, that's really a good option. And then, for example, like a silver and a gold bracelet, here's like a silver type one on the inside and a gold. I would definitely keep these in snap lock bags because they will get damaged, and the beads will keep better as well, and be less likely to break and fall out and get lost. Here's an example of the aged jewellery look. So something like this, where it looks slightly tarnished, will look like that's how it's supposed to be all along. Another Another great timeless option for jewellery are beads. So these are fake beads, obviously. They will just last you forever. They're just plastic, and you know, most of the time you can't even tell the difference whether they're real or not. So these have been around forever, as everybody knows. They're a great option, and they don't cost very much from a costume jewellery store either. So just another quick tip in storing jewellery. So apart from the clear snap lock bags, also what you can do is, I've got a lot of these little containers that are just like from little sample pots of like cosmetics or makeup or anything like that. Once you've used it all up, clean it out, and these are really great for storing earrings, and I've got a belly button ring in there, but anything like that, anything small, even small necklaces, they're really great to store in, and they look great on display as well. Another little container I've got here is just a little clear container that had beads in it at one point, beads or sequins or something like that. So once you finish with that, these are really great to store necklaces or earrings or anything that you like that would fit in there. That's another option as well that you can do. Another great material to consider when purchasing costume jewellery is anything that comes on a ribbon. So this necklace obviously comes on a black ribbon, and black is really, really great because if it does get a little dirty or whatnot, and as it ages, it's not going to be as noticeable as, say, a white colour will. When it comes to silver jewellery like this that's all fake diamonds, these tarnish really badly. So I would highly, highly recommend anything like this to definitely put in an airtight container or an airtight bag, because polishing cloth do most of the job in fixing these up and making them look new again. But because it's so intricate and there's so many gaps and it's such a rough surface, it's really, really hard for the polishing cloth to really get in between every single nook and cranny and get every single piece of tarnish off it. So that's another thing just to keep in mind. If you really are hell-bent on keeping your jewellery out on display or having it out in the open, basically, where it is going to get ruined, over time it's going to get dust, and just the elements in the air is going to ruin your costume jewellery. So unless you can afford to replace it all the time, can afford to replace it every few wears that you get out of it, I would highly recommend storing them away. So that's it. That's my how-to on how to make the most out of your costume jewellery, and I really appreciate you watching. Thanks so much, and I'll see you later. Bye!